In this mini clip, we will be discussing common math mistakes to avoid. Our question reads, does the square root of x squared minus 4 equal x minus 2? This statement is false. They do not equal each other. You cannot simply take the square root of each of these numbers separately. There is no such mathematical rule that will allow this to happen. What they did here was they took the square root of x squared, which gave them x, and then they subtracted the square root of 4, which is 2. If there were such a rule that allowed this to happen, then we would have that x minus 2 all squared would equal x squared minus 4. Because if we can take the square root of each number separately, then we can also take the square of each number separately, as I did here. X to the exponent 2 gives me x squared, and then I subtracted 2 squared, which is 4. Let's see if this is true. Looking at our left side, we have that x minus 2 is all squared. This can be rewritten as x minus 2 multiplied by itself. Expanding this, we have x times x, which gives us x squared, x times minus 2, which is minus 2x, minus 2 times x gives us minus 2x, and negative 2 times negative 2 is positive 4. Collecting our like terms, we have x squared minus 4x plus 4. So in fact, x minus 2 all squared is actually equal to x squared minus 4x plus 4, and not x squared minus 4. So this statement is false, and you cannot take the square of each number separately. Or looking at this question, you can't take the square root of each number separately. Now there's a second method that we can use to show that this statement is false. So here we had our first method, and in our second method, we are going to assign a value to our x variable. For example, let x equal 3. If this statement were to be true, then once we substituted 3 into each side, the value that will result should equal each other. Looking at our left side, we have the square root of x squared, but instead of x, we're replacing it with the value 3, minus 4. Evaluating what's underneath the square root, 3 squared will give us 9, minus 4. 9 minus 4 will give us 5. And the square root of 5, once we round, is approximately 2 decimal 2. Now let's see if this value is equal to our value found on the right side of our equation. On the right side, we have x minus 2. Replacing our x variable with 3, we have 3 minus 2. 3 minus 2 is equal to 1. So in fact, our right side does not equal our left side. Since, this is our symbol for since, left side does not equal to right side, therefore, the square root of x squared minus 4 cannot equal x minus 2. If you are still not convinced that this statement is false, then we have a third method that we can use. And this method will involve graphing. If this statement were to be true, then we would have that the graph of the square root of x squared minus 4 would be the same graph of x minus 2. So let's take a look at these graphs. First, we'll look at the left-hand side of our equation. Here we have the graph of y equals to the square root of x squared minus 4. Now let's see if this graph will be the same graph as x minus 2. The graph of y equals x minus 2 is a straight line. So just by looking at these graphs, we can tell that they are not the same, which supports our initial argument that this statement is in fact false.